Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Reckless Paradise podcast. I am your host, Dystro, and tonight's episode is going to be a good one. Also, happy first week of February. I know it's the 5th already, and this month is going to be going by before we know it. Um, Hopefully, you guys had a good January and Christmas last year. Hopefully you guys got your presents and all that stuff. But we're already 1 month in, and it's already looking up for me and Marissa so far. So let's keep that ball rolling, huh? So tonight's episode is a career dives episode, but this one is on Jeffrey Nero Hardy, or Jeff Hardy. This one's going to be an interesting one because I haven't really looked into his career like that. And it's going to be interesting to see what like what his upbringing was like, but it's like I'm not gonna go over like his whole from humble beginning story and all stuff and all that crap. Like I'm just gonna go like bullet point, and then kind of like go over his accomplishments and all that stuff. So let's dive right on in, huh? So Jeffrey Nero Harty, born August 31st, 1977. He is 48 right now. He will be 49 this year, which crazy, crazy. He is a American professional wrestler. He is signed to TNA Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, where he is one half of the TNA World Tag Team Champions in his fourth reign with Matt Hardy. He also appears on the partner promotion WWE on his NXT brand, where he's a former one-time NXT Tag Team Champion. He was also known for his tenure in All Elite Wrestling. Known for his high-risking, high-flying style, he is widely regarded as one of the greatest professional wrestlers of his generation, which that is true. Together with his brother Matt Hardy, the tag team the Hardy Boys are widely regarded as one of the major teams that are revived tag team wrestling during the Attitude Era, which is true. And one of the greatest tag teams in professional wrestling history. I do want to bring up that me and Marissa have done a debate hour before that has the Hardy Boys, Team 3D, or Dudley Boys, and Edge and Christian a few years ago. If you guys want to go check that out and hear our opinions on all three teams, and we've probably talked about the tag title reign before, but that's going to be kind of interesting. So, born and raised in Cameron, North Carolina, Hardy started his career as a youth performing in Trampoline Wrestling Federation, which he started alongside his brother Matt Hardy. Eventually, it would transition into Organization of Modern Extreme Grappling Arts, or Omega, as they became older. As a tag team, the Hardy Boys worked as enhancement talents for the WWF from 1994, and then they were signed to full-time contracts in 98. They gained notoriety in the tag team division, partly due to their participation in TLC matches, or tables, ladders, and chairs matches. But with the addition of Lita, the team became known as Team Extreme and continued to rise in popularity. After splitting up as a team in 2002, Jeff's popularity as a singles wrestler began to grow. However, the brothers still teamed sporadically in the years afterwards, and together they have held 21 World Tag Title Championships between WWE, TNA, ROH, and other promotions. Hardy had great success in his singles career, capturing one of 6 World Championships, the WWE Championship in 2008, and then going on to hold the WWE World Heavyweight Championship twice and the TNA World Championship 3 times. Within the WWF and /WWE, he has won the Intercontinental Championship 5 times, Hardcore Championship 3 times, the European Light Heavyweight and United States Championship each once. Having won the required championships, he is the 18th Triple Crown champion and the 9th Grand Slam champion in WWE history, one of 5 men to compete both are complete both WWE Grand Slam formats, and one of two to win of all original Grand Slam titles. He has headlined numerous pay-per-views for WWE and TNA, including TNA's flagship event Bound for Glory on two separate occasions. Readers of Pro Wrestling Illustrated named him Most Popular Wrestler of the Year on two occasions as well. Excuse me. Outside of professional wrestling, Hardy is involved in motocross, as well as artistic endeavors, particularly music and painting. He's currently a member of the band Proxy Y-Gen, with whom he tours and has released 3 studio albums and 4 extended plays. In 2003, Hardy, along with his brother Matt, co-wrote an autobiographical book of memoirs titled The Hardy Boys. Their book was a New York Times bestseller, which that's interesting to see there. I never thought they would be a New York Times bestseller, let alone like just writing a book, like a book of memoirs called the Hardy Boys. I knew he was particularly invested in motocross. I know he was a good artist too. Like, if you've seen his signature, he takes like a very interesting, unique approach to do a signature, which is very interesting nowadays too. Um, I know about the European Light Heavyweight and United States Championship, because the United States Championship, that was like way later in his run. I knew he won the hardcore title 3 times, but I didn't know he won the Intercontinental Championship 5 times. That's crazy. Because I know one was during like Attitude Era, going into Ruthless Aggression Era, and then going into like, I guess like the PG era. Like this was like when like Raw was like in 06, 07 kind of area. Um I know he won it during pandemic, I think, at one point, and then something like that. And then I think it's like a later run or something. I can't remember. Um but that's actually kind of crazy that he won the Intercontinental Championship 5 times. That's so crazy. Um so like I said, him and his brother Matt and friends started a federation called Wrestling Federation, and they mimicked the moves that they saw on TV. And then later on, the TWF went under several names, eventually being integrated into a county fair at North Carolina. That's actually kind of funny. The brothers and their friends then began to work for other independent companies. They drove all over the east coast of the United States, working for companies such as ACW and other small promotions. Um, and then it says, before arriving in the WWF, Matt and Jeff formed their own wrestling promotion, the Organization of Modern Extreme Grappling Arts, or Omega, with Thomas Simpson, sorry. The promotion was a more successful version of the original TWF and included talents such as the Hardy Brothers, Shannon Moore, Gregory Helms, Joey Matthews, Steve Corino, and among others. Which, Shannon Moore goes into TNA, goes into WWE. Gregory Helms goes into WWE, TNA. Joey Matthews, known as Joey Mercury. And Steve Corino, like that's actually kind of cool. Like North Carolina boys, looking out for each other. Um, in Omega, each of the brothers portrayed several characters. Hardy portrayed such characters as Willow the Wisp, who we did see in TNA at one point as Willow, Iceman, Mean, Jimmy Jack Tompkins, and the Masked Mountain. While there, Hardy held the new Frontier Championship, NFC, as a singles competitor and the tag team championships with Matt. The promotion folded in April 1998 when they signed contracts with WWF, which that's actually kind of crazy. Hardy cites Hulk Hogan, oh boy, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Sting, and Shawn Michaels as childhood inspirations to wrestle. Well, I mean, if you think about it, yeah, like that's kind of crazy. Um, so like I said, like they started off as jobbers. They've fought against like Razor Ramon, Randy Savage, like 1, 2, 3 Kid, like King Kong Bundy, Jim Neidhart, Owen Hart, Triple H, um, and then it says in 1996, he would team with his brother, Matt, and occasionally wrestled as a jobber, and as late as May 1998, including a match with RVD on during the ECW Invasion storyline that had Hardy billed as being Virginia, being billed from Virginia instead of Cameron, North Carolina, and then 98 happens and capture lightning in a bottle. Um, that's when the Hardy Boys become, prominent names during the Attitude Era, during the Ruthless Aggression Era, and all that stuff. Um, I know, like, towards the latter half of, like, 2002, that's, like, when Hardy gets, busted and kind of just goes away for a while. Goes to TNA, has a little cup of coffee there, goes back to WWE, and then he's there until 2009, 2010, and then, oh yeah, because 2009, because he leaves, um, or no, yeah, 2009 or 2010, he he loses a steel cage match against CM Punk, and then Jeff Hardy's like just gone. He's just gone from the company. And then he shows back up in TNA, which I mean, it was a good fit for him. But this is like when he was kind of dealing with some more personal demons. If you saw, I think it was Victory Road 2011. That's when like he hit rock bottom and loses this thing within like a minute. Um, and then goes to rehab, comes back and just does good stuff from then on there, which is good to see as well. But he's had some gimmicks here and there. Like when he was the Broken Hardys, he was Brother Nero. During I think it was Tag Team Apocalypto, he was Itchweed. He was named Jeff Harvey. I think that was during maybe the Jobber run. Keith Davis, okay. Waldo Jinx, Willow, which we know from TNA during 2013, 2014, and then Wolverine. I guess that was an Omega thing, I guess. Um, he was trained by Dory Funk Jr. and Michael Hayes. Well, that's actually kind of cool, actually. Um, just hear or even see Dory Funk Jr. like that's actually kind of crazy. um, so, um, and then like he goes back to WWE during like pandemic, and then he goes back to TNA. And like so he flip flop between WWE and TNA like both times. That's so crazy. Um, so all the video games. So he was basically in every WWF slash WWE video game, like under the sun. Like he was in WrestleMania 2000, SmackDown, Royal Rumble, No Mercy, SmackDown 2, Know Your Role, SmackDown Just Bring It, WWF Raw, which that was a crazy ass game. WrestleMania XH, Shut Your Mouth, Crush Hour, SVR 08, 09, Legends of WrestleMania, which that's interesting. SVR 2010, W2K18 is downloadable content, and then he was in 2K19, 2K20, 2022, 2K22. but then like after that, like he was not in another video game until AEW Fight Forever. Um, yeah, I forgot the AEW tag title run too. um, and he is technically married. Um, he met his girlfriend Beth Britt in 1999, shortly after the Hardy Boys won their first tag title championship, which is actually kind of funny. The couple met at a club in Southern Pines, North Carolina. On March 15th, 2008, it was reported that Hardy's home burned down to the ground in a fire. Hardy and his girlfriend Beth were not home at the time, but his dog Jack was killed in the fire, which that was the crux for the Matt and Jeff storyline in '09. What a time. Um, in August 2010, Hardy announced that Britt was pregnant with the couple's first kid, the daughter named Ruby Claire Hardy, who was born on October 20th, 2010. And then Hardy and Britt got married on March 9th, 2011, which they're still going strong, which is actually kind of cool. The pair's second kid is another daughter, Nera Quinn Hardy. Nero, nice. Um, and then who was born on December 31st, 2015. So, hey, Christmas baby. Hey, cool. Um, Hardy has tattoo of roots that start on his head, behind his ear, finishes on his hand, which is kind of like, I think that's what he was saying about, um, kind of like, his roots kind of like makes him like a stronger person, which I kind of recommend. That's actually kind of cool. Um, um, he also has a few signature design tattoos, one of which is a dragon he hid from his father at a young age, which I think I remember like their father was like very, very strict. Which I mean, that's every father with, kids that age, but whatever. Um, he later got tattoos of the Chinese symbols for peace and health, and as well as tattoos of fire and a wave. On March 14th, 2020, Hardy revealed a new tattoo on his back. Hardy regards his tattoos as artistic impulses, and then Hardy is a Christian. And then it goes over the legal issues, like he was arrested for drug trafficking, assaulted and charged, driving while impaired, um, and then uh, for public intoxication. Like he's had like strings of bad luck um, in his life, but like that kind of thing, like it's like it's hard to do that. Like because like in '09, he was like on top of the world, and kind of just was just like it's like what happened. Um, I would love to dive in more onto this, but it's like one of those things where it's like you would have to ask like the man himself like what happened, and also I mean like he'll probably give you maybe like a beat around the bush answer, but I mean like it would still be truthful. I mean I would love to interview this man, like him and his brother Matt. Like it would be actually kind of cool if I could. Um, so going into the championships and accomplishments here. So fourth rope, the the inaugural and current fourth rope tag team champion with Matt Hardy. ASW Tag Team Champion with Broken Matt. Feud of the Year in 2009 from the Baltimore Sun with CM Punk, which I mean that's true. The Crash, which is a Mexican promotion, Lucha Libre. The Crash Tag Team Champion with Broken Matt. The current two-time House of Glory Tag Team Champion with Matt Hardy, the IWC Tag Team Champion with Matt Hardy, a one-time MCW Tag Team Champion, a four-time National Championship Wrestling Light Heavyweight Champion, a one-time New Dimension Wrestling Light Heavyweight Champion, a one-time New Dimension Wrestling Tag Team Champion with Matt Hardy, um, the a one-time New Frontier Wrestling Association Heavyweight Champion, a one-time Northeast Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Champion, a one-time NWA 2000 Tag Team Champion with Matt Hardy, and basically he was just all the champions in Omega. A one-time Omega Heavyweight Champion, New Frontiers Champion, two-time Omega Tag Team Champion, and then he won the Heavyweight Championship tournament in 2015. I think that's when they brought it back for a short stint. Comeback of the Year in 2007, 2012, and 2017. Match of the Year in 2000 in the Triangle Ladder match at WrestleMania 2000. Match of the Year in 2001 in TLC 2 at WrestleMania X7. Most popular wrestler of the year in 08-09, which that's true. Tag Team of the Year in 2000 with Matt Hardy. Ranked number 7 in PWI 500 in 2013, and then ranked 418 of the top 500 greatest wrestlers in PWI years in 2003. Okay. So, one-time ROH Tag Team Champion with Matt Hardy. This was like when they were doing the Broken Hardy stuff. Holy shit moment of the decade 2010s. Hardy show up win Tag Team Gold, and that was facing the Young Bucks. Okay. This one's going to be a long one because this is TNA here. A three-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion, a four-time and current World Tag Team Champion in TNA with Matt Hardy / Broken Matt, NWA World Heavyweight Championship #1 Contender Tournament in 2004, won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship Tournament in 2010, and then TNA World Tag Team Champion #1 Contender Tournament in 2014 with Matt Hardy, and 2015 with Matt Hardy. Bound for Glory Series winner in 2012. Race for the Case, Green Case, which I think that was... I think that was kind of like a Feast or Fired thing. I would have to look here. TNA World Cup in 2015 with Gunner, Davey Richard, Rockstar Spud, Crazy Steve, and Gail Kim in 2016, and TNA Wrestler of the Year in 2012. Okay, sorry. Universal Wrestling Association World Middleweight Champion one time. And then there's a lot in WWE too, so I'm going to try to speed through them here. One-time WWE Champion, two-time World Heavyweight Champion, five-time Intercontinental Champion, one-time United States Champion, one-time European Champion, three-time Hardcore Champion, one-time Light Heavyweight Champion, one-time Raw Tag Team Champion, one-time SmackDown Tag Team Champion, a six-time World Tag Team Champion / WWF Champion, a one-time WCW Tag Team Champion, an NXT Tag Team Champion one time, 18th Triple Crown winner, 9th Grand Slam Champion, 4th Tag Team Triple Crown Champion, the Terry Invitational Tournament, TIT, the Brisbane Cup, I don't know what that was, but okay. And then two-time Slammy Award winner, which was the Extreme Moment of the Year, given Randy Orton a Swanton Bomb from the top of the Raw set, which that was crazy mental. And then 2009, jumping from the ladder at SummerSlam that year onto CM Punk through the Spanish announce table. And then Wrestling Observer was the Best Flying Wrestler 2000, View of the Year, like I said, Most Disgusting Promotional Tactic, WWE teasing a drug overdose to remove him from a Survivor Series title match, which that was stupid. And then the Worst Work Match of the Year, 2011, Sting versus Jeff Hardy. Oh, God. And then... Okay. I don't know what this was. It's Wrestling Superstar Tag Team Champion with Matt Hardy. Um, okay, well, that was actually kind of interesting. Um, but yeah, okay. The life, like the rise and fall of Jeff Hardy, like that would be like his autobiography here. Um, I mean, like, what is there not to say about Jeff Hardy? You know, like the man has went through trials and tribulations in his own life to be where he is right now. Um, and I love to see that, he's still doing good. He's still doing okay. Um, I mean, yeah, like, he's had his personal demons and all that stuff, but it's like, his wife has been there through thick and thin, to, see that he is actually doing okay and doing well. Um, and I commend the guy for it because he's went to rehab. He has been through every probably AA meeting before, like kind of just being like like yeah I don't really want to be here, but I got to be here for my job. And I'm actually kind of glad that both WWE and TNA and I guess AEW too like gave him a second chance at life. It's kind of like the Eddie Guerrero situation. Because like I think he was popped for steroid abuse, I think, or something like that, and or like drug overdose or like alcoholism or something. Um, he got fired, went back on the indies, told, like cleaned his act up, got his fucking shit together, and then, and then he was in WWE back in 2002 and, doing some great stuff until, he passed away in 2005. Um, and it's like, like I don't want to wake up the next day, hearing, you know, Jeff Hardy, passed away at, the ripe young age of like 50 or something. Like, I don't want to see that. Like, I'm actually glad that he's doing way better now that he's almost hitting 50. His body's starting to kind of wind down a little bit, kind of be like, hey, like, your time on the reserve is like, as a wrestler, it's about to come up kind of soon. So, like, you gotta, kind of slow it down a little bit. Um, but this is actually kind of interesting episode. To just I guess to observe and just like witness. I would love to kind of go more into it at some point, like kind of like go over the legal troubles, like he's done in the past. At like a later date, maybe sometime in the future, but um yeah, this was actually kind of interesting. This was actually kind of fun. I mean, kudos to Jeff Hardy. Hopefully, if he does listen to this episode, like I would love to interview you and your brother Matt at some point, or just even you or Matt. Like, it does not matter. Like, I would love to just pick your brain, a little bit. But that will be the end of this video, or of this episode tonight. Um, thank you for very, thank you so much for watching and or listening to this video. If you have made it to the end of this video, please make sure to follow us on all social media links in the description below, which will take you to our Linktree page, which will take you to our Instagram pages, Twitter pages, the podcast Reddit page, my gaming YouTube channels on there. We have finally hit 1,700 subscribers and we are already 2 months in. That is freaking phenomenal. I could not ask you guys enough. Like, thank you so much for getting me to 1,700. I know in January it was kind of not, looking too good. I mean, I think we were at 1680, 1690 or something at that point. And then I think it was the other day or it was Tuesday. I just happened to look at YouTube Studio and it said I was at 1,700 subscribers, and I was like, well, hell yeah. Um, I cannot thank you guys enough for that as well. I know we have, I guess, not gone through trials and tribulations to get there. Um, but it has taken a lot of time and effort to get where I was at. I started that YouTube channel 4 years ago. And I mean, like, I just did it as a side hobby, just, I mean, I was not, no, I know I wasn't not going to make any money off of it, but if I could entertain the people, entertain the masses, um, then I could just be like, okay, well, if I entertained somebody and made them smile today, like, that's awesome. um but it's so cool that I just got to 1,700, like, and we're already kind of getting onto the way to 1,800. But now I have to set a whole new goal for myself, and yeah, it's like 1,800 now. Trying to get there. I know there's going to be a huge hill to climb, but I will make it there. So, before I go on a huge ramble here, I'll say that for shoot the shit this month. Tonight's song of the night. Okay, so tonight's song of the night, it is going to be Good Charlotte again. And this one is the Motivation Proclamation. It is off their debut album, their self-titled album from 1999. And I know this because I own the fucking album. Or no, it's 2000. I'm sorry, it's 2000. I'm sorry. And there's a music video for it, and it always makes me feel that every day is a new chapter. Every day is a new lease on life, sort of thing. Just kind of take the bull by the horns, and just make a day out of it. Because every day is a new, brand new chapter. Um, so that's tonight's on the night, and that's it. And I will see you guys next Thursday. Peace.